Hi guys and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. I'm Farhad. If you're new to this channel then please smash the subscribe button now. And we are back at 650. So yeah, congratulations to everyone once again. I hope it stays at 650. In fact, increases rather. But thank you so much once again for your love and support, and hope you do like my videos that I'm making, and I would want a genuine feedback as well. Which brings me to the new Malayalam film that is out today. It is on Hotstar, named Heaven. It did have a theatrical release earlier. It was a smaller theatrical release, relatively so, and I happened to watch it last night. So then, how is Heaven? Here goes. So Heaven is one of those, again, thriller mystery kind of a genre film which has been coming out of Malayalam cinema. And to be honest, the genre actually has been such an overkill, with every other film being a thriller, that your actually your thriller element that is there, that tends to get a little repetitive. And it is not only in Malayalam cinema, I'm talking of films in general. Every other film is of the thriller genre. So I was slightly skeptical. I mean, films like Lal Singh Chadda aren't working, which actually are of tell a story of a human story, rather, you can say. But thrillers, people are into thrillers, and you cannot deny that. And how would you differentiate the thrillers one from the other? It lies in the storytelling technique. You cannot overtly do something different every time in terms of the story, but the screenplay has to be a bit layered. So in that aspect, Heaven, I think, does a pretty good job. It opens up in you almost are in that frame instantly when there is this dead body that is discovered, which is charred, totally charred, and thus begins an investigation. And soon you find the culprit also. So the investigation isn't about that first say 10 minutes that have been spent on the investigation, but in fact is it as it's like a foreshadowing. So you go into a flashback, and you get to know how things shape up, leading up to this incident, how it is in current day scenario. And there you are introduced to the protagonist and the world that he lives in. He has a little family, of his protagonist stays with his mother and his son. So, and that is something that takes up most of the time. He also is shown as someone who is extremely compassionate as a police officer, and also tends to go a little out of the way for any investigation that takes place. This until the conflict is introduced, when the character of the son is killed off, and then he becomes a part of the investigation group. The drama in general is engrossing, and it keeps you engaged throughout. There are subtle twists and turns which are good here. I wouldn't say none of them are shocking. I would say none actually shocked me in any way. But at the same time, the basic element of constructing a thriller, I think that is something that is really interesting here. Again, the beginning did give me a sense of Badlapur, the Hindi film Badlapur, although this had a little different setup as things unfolded further. But it did remind me of Badlapur, slightly. The second half, once the things start to get together, that is something again which met with a satisfactory reasoning that was there. And I think when you are it's getting to the getting to the prime accused, I think that events leading up to that also were layered. There were one layered peeled off, one thing leading to another, basically, that led to the final reveal. But this is not a who done it, it is more like a how done it or why done it. This is not a some thriller in which all the prime suspects are there and one of them is the killer. That is not, this is not that kind of a movie. This is more in the mold of, say, a Drishyam, or something that looks for reasoning rather than the one who's done it, which reminded me of the fact that the climactic sequence that was there, that reminded me of Drishyam 2. it had its share of twists and turns, which is not a bad thing for me. It was fine, but the issue for me was that the events were rushed in that final 20 minutes. It was almost as if the writers wanted to get on with things, and to put a full stop on the matter that was at hand. I felt it was slightly rushed, although the twists and turns were good in the final act, slightly predictable but still good, but it was rushed, which meant that it did not create that final impact that was there. Something that was with John Luther, although I wouldn't equate it to that. That was a different genre. But here again, but overall, the screenplay was pretty engaging and engrossing, and I really enjoyed it. Within the thriller genre, I would say that, yeah, it did serve its purpose, you can say. The dialogues are conversational and adequate. I think the BGM is pretty good as well. The music is also good. The cinematography is decent, quite nice. No real complaints there. Director Unni Govindraj, I think he's done a pretty good job here. It is his direction that drives the narration. He's able to grasp onto your the attention span that you have in this. It doesn't let go of it. He always constantly keeps you engrossed and engaged throughout the drama, which I think was pretty good to witness, given it was a thriller, something that was not there in a thriller, say like a Kadavar, which is why I did not make a video on that. Kadavar, sorry Manju. But Kadavar for me precisely did not work for the exact same reason that it wasn't as engaging as it should have been in the thriller genre. It was watchable, but not as much as it should have been. But here it was immensely satisfying, you can say. Not a brilliant watch, but not too bad either. And the performances, I think Deepak Parambol again is a highly underrated actor, and he did a splendid job. Some of the other actors, I think Farooq Kinduki, he's in every other film and he did a spectacular job as well. But the show belonged to Suraj Venjaramoodu, who is exceptional in the film. I think he's one actor who uses his eyes very well, something like Fahad Fazil. And uh, there are moments in which he had to show his vulnerability, and I think he did a pretty good job in that as well. The performance was very good, outstanding performance. So do I recommend Heaven? Yes. I mean, it is a good watch. It is not a bad watch at all. It is a good watch. Within the thriller space, it meets with a satisfactory experience that I had, and it is streaming on Hotstar. If you're liking this video, please smash that like button. I have written a full detailed review of Heaven on my site, Popcorn Reviews with a double S, the link of which is in the description box below. Please visit that. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on the film Heaven, and if there are any other recommendations, I'll try to cover as much as possible. And definitely you can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd. All the links are in the description box below. And I will try and come up with another video tomorrow as well as day after. Let's see. Fingers crossed. I am working hard. Please support me. Please support me, and it will give me that added kick and motivation to do better. So then that's it from this video. Thank you so much. Like the video, please.